Muito boa noite! Boa noite, boa noite, boa noite, boa noite, boa noite, boa noite, galera! Sejam todos bem-vindos aí ao nosso canal do YouTube! Agora com vocês aí, à noite, no Forex! Vamos meter um pau agora, no dólar! Quem quer dinheiro? Quem quer dinheiro? Quem quer dinheiro? Silvio Santos vem aí, lá 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 lá. Silvio Santos vem aí, lá 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 lá. Silvio Santos vem aí. Vamos lá, pessoal. Vai começar a pancadaria aí mundial. Pessoal, nós vamos comprar o ouro na abertura e vender o Dow. Nós vamos vender o Dow. O Dow tá com cara de derretimento global glacial aí. E o ouro tá com vontade de subir. Vamos meter o pá. Nós operamos pela Exclusive Acts. Quem está iniciando aí, galera, conosco aí essa noite, seja muito bem-vindo aí conosco. Sucesso a todas as operações aí. E quem ainda não conhece o nosso grupo aí do Forex, no WhatsApp. Tá aí o link aí, ó, o convite. Aí vocês metem o pau lá no WhatsApp. Já entra lá e você já começa a receber aí as informações necessárias para fazer as operações no Forex. Vamos ganhar agora no dólar. Vamos lá, pessoal. Buy aí e sell aí. Compramos aí Elorito no fundo. E vendemos aí o Dow. O Dow. Opa, tem uma comprinha boa aqui, pessoal. Se estiver vindo aí, ó. Ó, compra aqui, tá? Aí no 1481. Dá o top ponto de venda, 490. Essa compra aqui tem que stopar aqui, tá, pessoal? Ó. Aqui no 1480. Tá? E o gain desse negócio aqui, menino, é lá no 91. Vai acontecer alguma coisa aí, cara. Desde ontem. Tô sentindo isso desde o movimento de hoje, pela manhã. no dólar. Ó, galera, eu tô comprado. Comprei 2 contratos, 2 lotes, tá? Comprei esse aqui à tarde, quando ele fechou aqui, ó, comprei bem aí. Aí ele abriu aqui agora, ó, às 20 horas, eu comprei outro aqui. Esse das 20 horas que nós compramos aqui, pessoal, nós vamos sair aqui no 14,91. Mas se vocês não quiserem levar até lá, ficarem aí com certa dificuldadezinha, de carregar aí, tem essa saída aqui, ó, tá? Aqui no 14,86,50, tá? 14,86,40, tem essa saída aí. Então, como eu tô comprando em 2 lotes, né, eu vou sair do primeiro lote aqui. E o outro lote, eu vou carregar até aqui, ó. Igual eu fiz no outro. Eu vendi dia 1º e saí hoje. Eu saí no 14,91, cara. Ainda ele escorregou até o 80. Foi mais do que eu esperava. Então essa queda aqui a mais do 91, isso aqui foi um pouquinho mais exagerado, tá? Então por isso que eu estou dizendo aqui que deve voltar para o 14,91. Mas quem não quiser segurar, aqui no 14,86,40, sai da operação dessa compra agora à noite. Eu vou ficar carregado e vou levar essa minha operação, não sei, pode demorar 3, 4 dias. Eu vou levar até aqui para o 15,12, tá? 15,12,70. Tá bom? 15,12,70. Por quê, gente? Porque foi a abertura, né? Foi a abertura de ontem, ó. Tá? É o 15,12,70. A abertura foi aqui, mas tem um spread, né? Eu vou sair antes. Vai dar 2.940 dólares. E esse aqui vai dar alguém para nós agora à noite, ó, de 330 dólares. Beleza? E o Dow, a gente vai vender o Dow. O stop tem que estar aqui, ó, no 540, 27,540, tá? E o nosso gain, cara, o nosso gain, nós vamos botar esse gain aqui. Tem chão, hein, cara. Ah, cara, vou botar aí no 27,380 e 27,381, tá bom? Vai ser alguém aí. Agora vamos esperar. Galera, dá uma força aí pro nosso irmão que chegou aí, ó. Vai lá. O Fabrício entrou aí, ó. Fabrício Torres, dá uma força lá pra ele, lá no grupo lá, pessoal. Orienta ele lá pra como que abre as contas e tal. Mete o cacete em cima dele lá. Que é qual cantiga de grilo, toda hora. Sem parar. Aí não lá, o outro. Bora, montando burrinho só com a espora. Beleza, Rodrigo Figueiredo, bora! Bora, Rodrigão! Aqui faz dinheiro até de noite, Rodrigão. Fala, Chidão! Chidão, é o seguinte. O take profit aí, ó, vai ser aqui. Tá? 330 dólares aí. No 14,86,40. Mas é o seguinte, se quiser sair aí, beleza. Tá? Mas ele vai voltar aqui pro 14,91. Aqui em cima, ó. Se quiser sair aí, eu tô comprado em 2 lotes. Eu vou sair meu primeiro lote aqui, o outro eu vou ficar posicionado aí uns 3 ou 4 dias. Eu vou sair lá no 15,12. Vou ganhar 2.900 dólares aqui na operação, tá aí, ó. Ele deve voltar tudo, cara. Caiu demais hoje. Ó, 2.940. Eu não sei quanto tempo que vai levar para chegar lá não. Mas aqui, ó, vai ser bem rápido, ó. 14,86 e 40 vai ser bem rápido. Vai chegar aí bem rápido. Pode chegar a vir aí no 14,91, mas provavelmente deve ser pela madrugada dentro aí e tal, enfim. Ou amanhã cedo. Mas hoje aqui, ó, nesse horário que a gente vai ficar, ele vai bater aqui, rapidinho. Caiu muito, né, cara? Aí os caras saem comprando aí, porque não tem nenhuma informação. As informações novas vão se formar amanhã pela manhã. Então os caras vão especular aí, né? Especular pra cima. Fala, Rodrigão! Regaçou o índice hoje, Rodrigão? Botou pra torar aquela venda lá de manhã, lá no topo. Ô, venda bonita, hein? Aquela de manhã. Chega, salivou, hein? Ô, rapaz. Aquela venda foi do século. Top demais aquela venda, cara. Depois virou um bagaço. Ah, sempre acontece, né, cara? Dólar então só deu show de manhã. Depois virou uma bagaceira, aquela queda dele lá sem precedência. Muito estranho aquela queda. Muito estranho mesmo. Tá vindo alguma bomba aí, tá vindo alguma coisa, cara. Aí você vê o mercado, né, cara? O Forex não tem nada daquela frescura lá. A gente sofre demais na mão do Ibovespa, né? Aí o Forex é bem direcional, tranquilo. Eu tava vendo durante esse horário que o dólar tava caindo, cara. O ouro caiu também. Foi justamente na hora que o dólar tava caindo. Mas o ouro não dava aquelas subidas rasgando, sabe? Dando a impressão que estava revertendo a tendência de queda, né? Aí você entra na compra, aí você se lasca, né? E o ouro não, o ouro tava caindo e ficou caindo. Não teve negócio de pau azul igual esse aqui não, para reverter não, cara. O bonito do Forex é esse, cara. Quando ele pega uma tendência assim, ó, vai longe, mas vai longe, cara, é bonito. Agora o nosso mercado é forçado demais do que esse cara lá. Tem um grupo, cara, dos grandes players, tem uns bancos. Cara, é os mesmos que compra, é os mesmos que vende, é os mesmos que força o mercado para cima, é os mesmos que faz o mercado para baixo. Tava olhando eles hoje, cara. Hoje a Tenet fez o que quis hoje com o dólar. Fez o que quis. Fez o que quis, cara. Fala, João Marcos. As novidades. É o horário agora, né, das 20 horas e depois das 22 horas no Forex. Aí depois 7 horas da manhã. Vai 7 horas da manhã. Se eu não tivesse com compromisso aí, né, com o meu físico esbelto, eu estarei com vocês aí no Forex. Mas 6h30 eu já vou pra academia. Aí eu volto 7h30. E aí 8h30 eu já começo 8 horas eu já começo a me preparar. 8h40 eu já abro o canal. Aí vou até 4 horas da tarde. Aí depois a gente volta esse horário. E é até bom esse horário do Forex, cara, porque aquele horário lá de abertura das 19 horas, ele ficava muito parado, né? Agora ele abre às 20 e vai até e quando dá às 22 horas abre o asiático. Aí ele dá ele tá dando uma oscilada melhor, tá? Eu não sei se é porque tem alguma coisa a ver que o pessoal fica achando que o tempo é curto, sei lá o que, aí os caras começam a operar mais. Mas depois isso é só o psicológico, depois volta ao normal. Normalmente esse horário é muito parado. Pois opera, João. Entra lá, já tá lá no grupo do Forex? Já entrou no grupo do Forex? Quem não entrou no grupo aí do Forex, então pronto. Então mete o cacete lá, já abre a conta, mete o pau. Ô João Marcos, pois vá, cara. Vai lá que já tem mais uma pessoa. É o Serjão. O Serjão vai fazer também. O Serjão de Rio das Rosters. Pois vai. O aulão, galera, o aulão de Fortaleza é dia 7 e dia 8. Tá? É o último aulão aqui no Brasil desse ano. Sábado, dia 7 e dia 8 de dezembro. Aí depois eu vou ter um aulão lá em Lisboa. Ainda não tem ninguém confirmado para lá. Tinha 2 pessoas, né? Mas ficaram de confirmar depois. Ah, pessoal, vai ter um aulão aqui em Goiânia esse final de semana, tá? Já tem um cidadão aí. Quem quiser fazer o aulão aqui em Goiânia, tá aí o link aí. E em Fortaleza, dia 7 e 8. Dia 7 e 8. Deixa eu só mostrar aqui pra vocês, pessoal. Ó, o Ricardo, ele autoriza eu mostrar aqui pra ele os gains dele, sempre, tá? Ó, vou mostrar aqui pra vocês. Ó, o Ricardo ele fez o aulão online completo, ele nem fez o presencial. Ó os gains dele. Ó, sexta-feira, vou botar aqui, ó, dia 15 do 11. Acho que eu paguei esse aqui, mas tinha um gain aqui. Esse aqui eu acho que eu paguei tudo. Tava muito pesado. Ó, tudo isso aqui é gain, ó. Gain. Ó, dia 10, ó, tudo é gain. Aí, ó, olha aqui o do dia sexta-feira, ó. Olha o gain dele aí, ó. 1.860. O aulão online completo é 1.299, ainda parcelado em 4 vezes. O cara só no dia tirou 1.860. Isso aqui ele tá fazendo todo dia. Todo dia. Olha aí, ó. 1.370. Ontem. Hoje, ele me chamou, ó. Aí ele pediu pra divulgar, ó. Ontem. 1.760. Aí o de hoje, ó. 2.000. Então só aqui, ó. Só nesses dias aqui, ele faturou aí quase 7 pau. Ó, vamos contar aqui, ó. Não tô nem contando esses dias aqui, ó, porque eu tirei aqui, não tem como mostrar pra vocês. O celular tá muito carregado. Ó, um dia 1.800, 2 dias 1.300. Só aí dá 2, 3 pau. Aí esse aqui é do mesmo dia, deu uma melhorada. Então foi para 1.700. Então aumentou 400, então foi para 3.400. E o de hoje, 2 pau, 5 pau em 1, 2, 3 dias. Fora esses outros dias aqui que eu paguei aqui, ó, mas é tudo ganho. Entendeu? E ele fez o aulão online. Não é só ele não, tem outras pessoas aí que tá ganhando direto mesmo. Disciplinado, faz os horários, faz tudo certinho, mete o pau. E aí, isso é porque ele fez só o online. Se tivesse feito aí o presencial, tava com a performance ainda melhor ainda, né? Mas parabéns, tem o Marquinhos também, que fez o presencial, cara. Os caras tá tudo voando. Porque é justamente nesse período que os caras começam a colher, né, os frutos de um grande trabalho. Entendeu? Opero o índice e opero o dólar. E opero o Forex, Jefferson. Eu opero os três. De dia a gente opera o mini índice e o mini dólar. Ainda dou aulão aí, presencial, ainda dou aulão online. Pra galera que tem interesse. À noite a gente faz o Forex. Aí na parte de dia tem esse site aí, ó, do canal. Entra lá depois, tá aí no link aí, ó, do chat. Entra lá, ó, nós temos aí. Dá uma lida lá, pessoal. O site foi muito bem feito pelo Marcelão, careca, doidão. Ó, se você entrar aqui, ó, aqui tem a sala do além, que a gente tem uma sala privada para operações no day trade. no mini índice, mini dólar, tem os cursos online, presencial, os vídeos no YouTube, os parceiros. Nós temos a parceria com a Nova Futura aí, com o Daniel, tutorial do Forex, ó, sala do além, tá? Você tem aqui os depoimentos, ó. Você tem as informações dos valores dos cursos online, ó. Próximo aulão, Fortaleza, fazer a inscrição, aí vai ter em Goiânia agora também, ó, final de semana. Quem é aqui de Goiânia, aproveita, pessoal. Talvez esse mês vai ser o último aqui de Goiânia. Aproveita. Faz o curso. Até na hora que você clicar aqui no online, ó, ele abre a página. Aí na hora que você clicar, por exemplo, aquele que eu mostrei do Ricardo, né? Que está faturando aí R$1.000 e tantos por dia. Ele pagou 1.299, parcelado em 4 vezes. Ó. Aqui tem a explicação, ó, módulo 1, 2, ó, no EWZ, ó. O que se refere ao módulo 1, ó? Você clica aqui para você entender o que é. Fiz um vídeo explicando do que se trata, ó. Módulo 2, o estudo do EWZ, tá? Tá muito bem explicado aí. Muito bem feito, cara. É só entrar aí, ó, e clicar aí nos ícones. Qualquer dúvida, tem um contato aí do Marcelão, o WhatsApp dele, ó. E tem um contato aqui, ó, no e-mail. Tá? Aproveitem, pessoal. Aproveitem essas oportunidades aí. Um monte de gente aí que fez o aulão tá faturando. Aproveita, aproveita. Aproveita, cara. Não fica receoso em investir não, porque o retorno, cara, é muito bom. E quem faz o aulão online completo tem direito de 30 dias na sala privada comigo lá, fazendo as entradas e a saída. Hoje no dólar, pessoal, a gente sabe onde que a gente comprou o dólar? Nós compramos dólar no 0,7. 0,7 ou 0,6. Ele foi até o 30. Tem uma galera que comprou junto comigo de manhã. Eu falei, galera, compra aí que ele vai voltar pro ajuste. Depois ele vai voltar. O ajuste era no 15. Depois ele vai voltar pro 19. E pode ir pro 30 antes da abertura dos papéis. Cara, ele bateu certinho no 30 e voltou tudinho. Ainda fez a mínima. Bateu lá no 81. Se eu não me engano, 88. Então, ó, deu para fazer 10, 15, 20 pontos no dólar. Se você, de manhã eu sempre falo, pessoal, entra no ponto certo e carregado. Entra devagarzinho, à medida que vai indo pro seu lado, carrega, porque ele é muito direcional o dólar, principalmente na parte da manhã. Ou na compra ou na venda. E aí o pessoal seguiu a risca, fizeram dinheiro e foram embora. Antes das 10 horas da manhã já foram embora. Nem ficaram passando raiva mais. Então tudo isso eu ensino no aulão e ensino aí quem fica na sala do além. A gente faz a parte de psicologia de mercado, como se comportar durante as operações. Então é bem intuitivo, né? Você não é desamparado. Essa é a questão. Além do investimento que você faz, que ele é para a vida toda, ele é eterno, esse aulão online. E quem faz o presencial tem direito de 70% para adquirir o online. 70% de desconto. Aí fica também eterno, né? Em tudo na vida, se você fizer com dedicação e for disciplinado, você conquista. Tem muita gente que já fez o presencial, o online, e não deu certo porque indisciplina, não me escuta. Mas mais de 80% do que fizeram aulão, online, presencial, mais de 80% são vitoriosos, porque eu pego no pé mesmo, cara. Aí aqueles que não querem me ouvir e me seguir acabam saindo, porque eu tenho ainda um grupo no WhatsApp da galera que faz o aulão. Lá eu fico puxando o cabelo, puxando a orelha, Porque assim, cara, além de eu fazer com que a pessoa acredite que há condições e há possibilidade da pessoa viver do mercado financeiro, e essa questão da pessoa ser milionário, ser bilionário com o mercado financeiro, você esquece isso aí, isso não existe, tá, pessoal? Isso não existe. Para a pessoa ser bilionária, milionária, ela tem que inventar alguma coisa, tá? Você tem que ser uma pessoa que inventa algum produto, seja um inovador, alguma coisa para vender no mercado mundial. Não é só no Brasil não, no mundo todo. Inventar qualquer coisa que funcione. Entendeu? Aí sim você ganha muito dinheiro mesmo, você vira bilionário, milionário. Agora o mercado financeiro ele te dá uma condição de vida boa, tá? Você tem uma condição de vida tranquila, tá bom? Se você for um cara bem disciplinado, você fatura 20 pau, 15 pau, 25 pau por mês, quando você trabalha com poucos contratos, né? Poucos contratos que eu falo entre 5, 10 alternado aí. Dependendo do movimento que der, se aumenta mais a mão, isso aí vai muito do feeling das operações. Mas eu tenho gente no grupo aí que opera que fatura bem mais, né? Faz isso aí num dia. Mas é porque trabalha com mais contratos, né? Todos fizeram ao longo do além. Para quem está no mercado financeiro, quem está me escutando, cara, essa é a grande oportunidade de você ter uma condição melhor de vida, se você continuar no mercado financeiro. Porque se você continuar no mercado financeiro e se você não investir, não estudar, você vai quebrar. Vai quebrar porque eu quebrei. Eu falo por experiência própria. Eu quebrei. E quebrei não foi pouco não, tá, pessoal? Foi um valor de 450 mil reais. No aulão presencial eu dou meu testemunho, eu falo da minha trajetória como trader. Todos os traders, cara, de sucesso, eles têm uma trajetória muito parecida. Muito parecida. Porque não desistiram. Foram atrás, estudaram e buscaram entender o mercado. Então, quando conseguiram entender o mercado, começaram a divulgar de uma forma educacional e mostrar que é possível reverter uma situação.
Hong Kong, who had gathered in the busy shopping district of TST. Some had set barricades blocking traffic and vandalized shops they considered to be pro-China. The protesters wore masks of the anarchist comic book character
5 minutos, Judete. 5 minutes. Mas as entradas é no 30 minutos, tá?
After returning home from winning the World Cup in Japan, thousands of fans cheered as team captain Sia Kolisi walked through the airport brandishing the Webb Ellis Trophy. The team will now take the cup on a 5-day nationwide tour starting on Thursday. Global news 24 hours a day on air and at TikTok on Twitter, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Rich Gupta. This is Bloomberg. Heidi. Pretty good, thank you. Well, in a world of rising US shale production, OPEC sees a smaller role in global oil markets. The oil cartel has slashed estimates for the amount of oil it will need to pump in the coming years, projecting its share of world markets will shrink until the middle of the next decade. Vanda Nahari is CEO of Vanda Insights, and she joins us now from Singapore. Vanda, great to see you. I want to start off by taking a look at just some of the drivers when it comes to the dynamic we see in the oil market at the moment. I want to sort of bring up this graphic that shows that we do have that fall in Brent that we've seen. Largely it's been driven by the momentum in the trade war, right? We do have, of course, US shale as being a part of that story, but you can see the impact when it comes to the first round of China-US tariffs, the second round of tariffs, and then the attack on Saudi Aramco, and then we're still kind of awaiting to see what the sustainable impact of any trade deal would be. Do you think if Beijing and Washington were to come to some sort of agreement that this would be the sustainable driver for an uptick in crude prices?
Good morning, Heidi. Excellent question. I think that's uppermost in the minds of oil market participants right now. I think the if in that question of yours is really important. If the US and China strike a deal, because, you know, the slip between the cup and the lip, as the proverb goes, and we have seen plenty of twists and turns and last-minute twists in the saga, right? The other thing that I'm looking at particularly and pointing out to my clients in the oil industry is that to go a little bit beyond the headline. So the headline is, you know, there are lots of feel-good things that US and China, they both want to sign now, something, a partial deal, where will they sign? But look beyond that. What exactly are they saying about the removal of tariffs? Because I think that's going to be key, especially for the commodities and the oil market, because if these hundreds of billions of tit-for-tat tariffs that have been imposed by both the countries since the middle of last year, if these are not removed, or at least a substantial part of these are not cancelled, then I don't believe we have reason to change the outlook of economic headwinds and decelerating global oil demand growth. So then, you know, some of the optimism I feel that is being baked into oil prices right now on account of the deal might be a bit premature and might be a bit overstated.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We've seen the Bloomberg Commodity Index essentially do nothing, right, ever since we had that key, I should say, Trump-He meeting when we started to see progress in these trade talks. I want to throw up a chart in the Bloomberg terminal, because we did just hear from Pioneer Natural Resources CEO Scott Sheffield saying that OPEC doesn't need to worry about the impact of US shale. Does he have a point? Because this year we have actually seen US rigs start to fall.
You know, I have especially tracked very closely what Mr. Sheffield has been saying over the years, and I think he's been one consistent voice warning that, you know, things are far from rosy for the shale sector. And he's been doing that, I would say, pretty much since the start of this year. So, you know, I do take his words very seriously, and then I'm not surprised, because that's what Vanda Insights has been saying all along as well. So again, since the start of this year, shale, without doubt, is under huge pressure. Now, don't get me wrong, it is growing, and, you know, possibly more than 1 million barrels per day annual growth this year, but the growth itself is definitely slowing down. As far as OPEC is concerned, I think a couple of things in their World Oil Outlook report jumped out at me, and one of those is that without doubt, the next few years, I think the pressure on OPEC is growing. So it's a double whammy for them. The outlook for demand growth is not too good, so that is something that has changed versus their report at this time last year. And the other is non-OPEC growth. And actually, if you notice, they revised up the peak that they see in non-OPEC output. You know, they expect a peak around 2026, 27, so towards the end of next decade, led by so a peak in non-OPEC and a peak in US crude production as well. But they revised both of them substantially upwards, and what that tells me, so they revised up by nearly 2 million barrels per day the crude, the tight crude peak that they see for the US, and 6 million barrels per day the total liquids output for non-OPEC. So that tells me that OPEC will have to be very, very careful, at least the next 5 or 6 years, if it wants to maintain a floor under prices, it will have to curb production.
If you're saying that the pie will get smaller for OPEC, does that mean that they will also have to compete more against each other and they will be more reluctant to actually follow the OPEC Plus framework?
Without doubt. And when we talk about compete with each other, I think something else that you need to keep an eye on is what happens to, there are countries which perhaps for good reasons have been left out of the quota scheme, right? So Iran, Libya and Venezuela are not part of it. And perhaps for good reasons they may remain out of it, though, their peers will start paying attention to that as well. But the other one, the important one, is that there are constant quota busters, if you will. So Nigeria and Iraq are amongst them. So I think this competition is probably going to drive more attention onto the quota busters. Saudi Arabia has been slashing its output way more than it needs to. So in a way, it's been compensating for this quota busters. So I think all of these dynamics going forward are going to become very interesting, especially going into the December meeting.
Right, Vandana Hari, always great having you with us, founder of Vanda Insights, with her latest take on oil. Coming up next, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon weighs his firm's investment in WeWork. His message: profit matters. Our exclusive conversation is next. This is Bloomberg. In New York.
And I'm Patty Strablots in Sydney. WeWork's found IPO will likely weigh on SoftBank Group's results, which are due later Wednesday in Tokyo. Joining us to break down what we're expecting for those numbers, Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow in San Francisco. And we already know that Massa's personal fortune took a hit as a result of some of these investments, WeWork, Uber among them. What are analysts expecting from the overall results?
Essentially a big loss for the quarter. The average analyst estimate is for a net loss of 300 billion yen. That's something like 2.7 billion US dollars. You compare that with the same quarter a year ago, SoftBank registered a profit of more than 500 billion yen, or roughly $4.5 billion. And as you mentioned, a lot of the focus has been on write-downs to do with some of SoftBank's biggest investments, including WeWork. All the money that SoftBank put into WeWork to try and take the company public, that didn't work. But some of the publicly traded companies in the Vision Fund portfolio have performed very badly in that fiscal second quarter. Come with me inside Bloomberg. This chart shows shares of Uber Technologies, Slack and Guardant Health. In the case of Uber and Slack, the white line and the blue line, those declines were more than 30% in the quarter ending September 30th. You do the math, SoftBank owns something like 13% of Uber shares. Some analysts estimating that the write-down in the case of Uber would be around $3.5 billion. So that's where analysts will be focusing when the numbers come out. But it's both publicly traded companies and also WeWork. That's the story that's really dominated in the quarter. The money that they've kind of pumped in to try and save it, and now we'll be wanting to hear from Masayoshi-san on where that account kind of levels out at the end of that quarter.
And of course, SoftBank is a majority stakeholder in Sprint. We have seen that merger deal between Sprint and T-Mobile in the works for almost 2 years. Are we expected to hear anything about that?
Yeah, so green light from the regulator, the Federal Communications Commission. They're not out of the woods yet, though, because the US states have essentially tried to block the deal in the courts. That goes to trial in early December. The states arguing essentially that it is an issue of antitrust in the telecoms market. SoftBank owns 3.5 billion shares of Sprint. They're desperate for that deal to go through, not just for the pecuniary and investment reasons to exit their stake in that company, but as you know, a big part of the narrative around SoftBank has been this transition from essentially what is a telecoms conglomerate towards a larger mega investor focused largely on venture capital and also investing in startups. So we'll want to hear from Masayoshi-san on what they feel that how that deal is going. It has green light from the FCC, but beyond that, we're waiting on this court decision, which the states are still trying to block the deal with T-Mobile.
And Lando, thank you so much for the latest on SoftBank. And you can also turn to your Bloomberg for more on its earnings results later today. Go to TLIV Go to get commentary and analysis from Bloomberg's expert editor. Goldman Sachs is sustaining from
Fala, Mingau Trader!
in startups, including
Mingau, entra no nosso grupo aqui, ó, do Forex, grupo do WhatsApp, e a galera lá vai te auxiliar. Tá bom, Mingau Trader? Aí, ó, quem quiser entrar lá no grupo do Forex, nós temos um grupo aí no WhatsApp. Tá aí o link aí, convite. É só entrar lá, você receberá as informações aí.
There was a time when people were talking about WeWork as a $60-65 billion company. It's clearly not. Why is it so hard to put a value on companies this close to going private?
At the end of the day, where the rubber meets the road is what are investors willing to pay for a company when they have the transparency of the real financial information that's been vetted and presented in an appropriate way. And when you have that, the market will speak. And so, using WeWork as an example, there's a lot of hype around that, but ultimately, when investors were able to have a discussion with real financial information, provide feedback, and work with an underwriting group to work with a company, that's a pretty clear use where the company could go public.
Can I ask you about, this group of companies, the unicorns that have had IPO problems or have not performed well post-IPO, like Uber? Are you concerned that we're seeing reflections of the dot-com era where it was all about churning higher revenues and nobody really focused on making any money?
I would compare these are real companies. We can debate the valuations, but they're certainly real companies, and I think that's very, very different than that narrow slice of time during the dot-com bubble, where I think there were a lot of companies that were really in a different state that were getting to public markets. But I do think what's happening is the monetary policy that's been rampant around the world has basically forced people out on the risk curve, has forced people to look for other ways to drive returns. And one of the things they've been chasing is growth, and to some degree growth at all costs. So I think there's been a sentiment that if you can hook your wagon to a company that's got a lot of growth and is focused on growth, then something good, will come to that. That has incented lots of companies to take the capital they're raising from investors and spend it very aggressively to drive top-line growth without really understanding the consequence of how that can translate to profitability. And I think the market here is kind of speaking and telling people, let's rein that in a little bit. It's important for people to grow, but there's got to be a clear and articulated path to profitability, to earnings in some way, shape, or form. I'm a big believer that over time, a company can only be worth over time a discounted future trade value of its earnings. And so it's important that you have a business model ultimately that can generate profitability. And I think there's a little bit more market discipline coming into play. And I think that's helping for markets.
Alright, that's Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon there, speaking exclusively with Bloomberg's Matt Miller. And don't forget, if you're away from the screen, you can always find in-depth analysis and today's big newsmakers on Bloomberg Radio. We're now broadcasting live from our brand new studio in Hong Kong. You can listen via the app, that's Bloomberg Radio Plus, or at BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg.
Our top stories this morning in D.C. and Dow in the S&P. We saw the euro on a sizable moves in the currency market, which is down. We begin in the oil patch. Saudi Arabia
Pretty much unchanged.
Welcome to Bloomberg, the first coordination week.
U.S. and Japan took it out over exchanges, lowering onshore. We are just listening to the Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari. They're speaking in a moderated Q&A taking place in Minneapolis. He said that wage growth in the U.S. suggests that the economy is not at full employment, saying that it's actually below inflation wage growth, that is, plus productivity, saying that rates now around neutral and feel slightly accommodative. Neil Kashkari, of course, one of the super dogs at the Fed, has been a long-term supporter of low borrowing costs, is that the Fed should pledge no hikes until the inflation target is reached. Just a month ago, he was saying he didn't know how many more rate cuts the economy is going to need, but more recently, Neil Kashkari is saying that he's comfortable with where the FOMC is in terms of that rate cut, but saying that the committee should pledge no tightening until the inflation target is reached. We'll leave that there for now. Bloomberg subscribers can go and watch on live go on the terminal. You can also find the big diary entries coming up today and later on this week, as well as some of the events that you might have missed earlier on, Sherry. Right, and markets open in Tokyo and Seoul at the top of the hour. Let's start the Sophie for what to watch market. So, Sherry, looking like a subdued start in Tokyo and Seoul. Well, the yen is steady above 109, and JGB futures are heading lower ahead of a 10-year option, which comes after a sharp jump in JGB yields on Tuesday. Now, SoftBank in the spotlight with boost earnings likely to feature write-down for Uber and WeWork, and domestic telco unit SoftBank Corp posted a big beat on Tuesday. Now, other stocks of note turning to NTT. This after we saw the telco increase its payout and announce a plan for a stock split. Also keeping an eye on Asahi shares may come under pressure after lowering its annual sales and profit forecast. Also keeping an eye on Takeda after agreeing to sell some assets in EM and Western European markets to Germany's SATA for $650 million, and watching Fujiko as the company sees improved earnings on the deal to buy 25% of a JV with Xerox after a merger attempt fell through. Now, head down there, this is Bloomberg.
Jaguar in Sydney, Asia's major markets have just opened for trade. Good evening from Bloomberg's global headquarters in New York. I'm Sherry-Ann.
And I'm Sophie Kamarudin in Hong Kong for the Favorite Asia.
Top stories this Wednesday. Tough on trade. China repeats it wants tariffs lifted before any deal can be agreed. Trans-Pacific shipments have slumped in recent weeks. Even so, investors remain optimistic of an agreement. Oil is holding gains near their highest in 6 weeks. OPEC says the outlook is brighter. And the view from Goldman Sachs. The CEO David Solomon speaks exclusively to Bloomberg about recession, the global economy, and ties to China. Japan and South Korea coming back online. Let's get straight to the market actions with Sophie. So,
we're seeing upsides for both the Nikkei and the Topix, adding 1/3%. Nikkei then continuing to rise above 23,000 points. Now, demand for Japanese stocks seems to be weighing on the yen outlook when it comes to strength. We have the yen trading 109 spot 14 here. Now, conversely, increased Japanese demand for overseas investment that is prompting JP Morgan to raise its floor for dollar yen to 107 from 105. So, some weakness there for the currency. Now, checking in on what's happening with Korean shares. If we could, the Kospi just marginally higher this morning. Aussie shares extending gains at 10% higher than rising for a fourth session and an October 29th high with financials and regional players the biggest boost. Now, quick check on bonds this morning. We have Aussie yields very steepening with the 10-year adding about 4 basis points this morning, and Treasuries opening higher, just holding steady around 185 basis points this morning. This after we saw a drop in Treasuries on firmer U.S. ESO data. Now, the question here, guys, is this the start of sustained move higher in yields that's stalling today? Perhaps as we're seeing this more as a recalibration, given that central banks are signaling a pause in easing. And a quick check in the offshore yuan, just steady after a 3-day advance. We're keeping an eye on this key 7 level after the offshore rate reached that on Tuesday. Heidi.
Alright, so Cameron in Hong Kong with the first good news now with critical good.
Fala, galera! Por que vocês estão calados? Abriu o diário aí. Ó, quando abre o diário, olha o movimento dele. Tem isso tudo aqui para voltar.
Trump administration envoy has testified that the White House did pressure Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden in exchange for an Oval Office meeting with the country's new president. The U.S. ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, contradicted President Trump's repeated assertion that there was no quid pro quo. Sondland said
Esse ponto é tão importante, né? 490. Ele foi a abertura de um diário aí, ó. Do 500.
After being expelled from the Conservative Party for opposing Boris Johnson's Brexit strategy. Hammond says he made the decision with great sadness, and that in the past, the Tories, quote, always had room for a wide variety of opinions. Hammond was one of 21 lawmakers thrown out of the parliamentary party for backing legislation to stop a no-deal Brexit. Police used water cannon Tuesday night to break up crowds of masked anti-government protesters in Hong Kong who had gathered in the busy shopping district of TFT. Some had set barricades blocking traffic and vandalized shops they considered to be pro-China. The protesters wore masks with the anarchist comic book character V for Vendetta to mark 1 month since the government ban on face coverings. Global news, 24 hours a day on air and at TikTok on Twitter, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Richard Goodell. This is Bloomberg. Sherry?
Pretty good, thank you. China is setting its price for any interim trade deal with the U.S. Drop the tariffs. Beijing has reportedly asked the White House to roll back the restrictions in September, but to withdraw the threat of any new tariffs. The question now is whether President Trump will agree. Our China correspondent Tom McKenzie joins us now from the International Import Expo in Shanghai. And Tom, really not surprising, Beijing hasn't budged much since negotiations started months ago.
Well, certainly not surprising that the tariffs are a core issue. They've made that point repeatedly over the last few months. But we do have some clarity on what that exactly means for the Chinese side. So it's got key points, really. They want those twin tariffs currently penciled into the calendar from December the 15th taken off the table. They also want $150 or $110 billion worth of tariffs that were imposed in September cut as well, completely those duties. And then we know that the US and Chinese sides are also mulling and discussing whether or not to reduce the level of tariffs on $250 billion worth of Chinese goods that were imposed back in 2018. From the Chinese perspective, it's a question of equivalence, because if they're going to send their president over to the US to sign a deal, which of course we've reported on as a possibility, and if they're going to give away some of their leverage in terms of ag purchases and intellectual property, then they want to get some of this tariff relief from the US in return. As you say, though, the key question is whether or not Trump will take this seriously, whether he'll consider this, whether he'll agree to cutting tariffs at this stage.
Yeah, he's very proud to be tariff man, so what are the political risks for him?
So the political risks are not insignificant. You've got the Democrats and the Republicans, a bipartisan push to get a solid, a concrete and an enforceable deal against China. And part of that for many of those lawmakers is keeping the tariffs in place to ensure that China does live up to its side of the deal. But of course you have the economic impact, and you have concern from the business and corporate lobby in the US about to what extent the tariffs are dragging down growth. You've seen that reflected in the latest trade numbers, for example, where imports of goods to the US dropped 5% from China, and exports from the US to China dropped 10% in the month of September. So it's a push and a play out and a struggle, a tug of war between both the economic concerns, of course, the short, medium-term economic concerns, and those political concerns for President Trump.
Tom, how does the US opioid crisis feature into all of this? Has there been much progress in cracking down on Chinese fentanyl exports to the US?
Well, so the context, of course, is that President Trump has tied fentanyl, the production of fentanyl, the export of fentanyl, an opioid that is linked to the deaths of many as 35,000 people in the US back in 2018, fentanyl and other opioids, actually. He's linked that to the trade discussions. What we're expecting to see tomorrow, Thursday, is an opportunity for Beijing to show off its crackdown on the fentanyl production, the illegal production of fentanyl here in China, along with their US counterparts. So we're expecting to see a court case live streamed and then a press conference with these officials showing off this drugs bust. And again, that could potentially go some way to helping Trump sell this deal back in the US, to show that the pressure he's put on China around this issue is really paying dividends. And of course, the Chinese are very cognizant of the option for Trump on that front as well. So we'll be getting more details on that crackdown on fentanyl tomorrow, Beijing time.
Tom McKenzie, our China's correspondent there in Shanghai today. And hear more interviews in Shanghai throughout the day, including Bloomberg's exclusive conversation with the AstraZeneca CEO, Pascal Soriot, and the former Italian Undersecretary of State, Michele Geraci. Well, let's get the focus on trade and China with our next guest. Jeannie Pan is a market strategist with IG Asia. She joins us this morning out of Singapore. Jeannie, great to see you again. Great to have you with us. It seems like there are ever more conditions being laid upon the possibility of even getting an interim phase 1 deal. Are the markets going to be disappointed, and is it already priced in?
Well, good morning, Heidi, and really, I think it's nice to talk to you again. I think it's just, well, it wasn't so far back, when we talked about at the start of 2019 itself, there's certainly still a lot of optimism surrounding US-China trade. I think once again, we are perhaps at that point of time, really looking into the pricing and the optimism with regards to the phase 1 deal at present, and I'll say that to a large extent, I think that's really what the market's expecting in the price. But, I think there is new developments, as you pointed out, and most recently this week in terms of rolling back of the tariffs. If that should really come through, I think that's going to see the market another leg higher. But thereafter there is also the question as to what is going to come next. So I think to some extent the market is a lot sentiment driven at this point of time on the back of this US-China trade issue, which arguably is really the biggest issue on board. But that being said as well, I think there's also risk that still the market's cognizant about.
What are the biggest,
guess, opportunities that you see there? Because we've seen dollar yuan pretty muted. It feels like FX traders maybe are a little bit more circumspect about the possibility of progressing the trade too. In terms of Chinese equities, are there great opportunities there? We've already seen a pretty steady rally this year.
Yeah, well, so how do you my view of in terms of how to go about the market in regards to China and just really expanding to the broad Asian market? I think there is this short-term optimism that we have seen the market really pricing in at this point of time, and I would say in the lead up to this expected trade deal signing between President Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping. I think this happy top in the world is really likely to be sustained, and that's likely to keep the market supported. But just really, I think, introducing a little bit of caution as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we find that the market get a little bit contentious, just really towards that, thereafter the kind of in terms of what exactly is going to be the next step, and whether there's going to be any changes coming through. I think the market will just be a little bit cautious of that, and of course monitoring the economic impact as well in terms of what the tariffs will mean. I think we've seen a bit of stabilization in terms of the economic data so far, but that being said as well, there's a little bit of this concern that this may actually be in fact some effect of the front loading as well. So I think we don't really have too much clarity in terms of that, and I think in terms of that altogether mishmash into the market could see a little bit of this volatility towards the end of the year.
When it comes to the yuan and Julie, we have seen a bit of more positive correlation with 10-year yields. This GTV chart on the Bloomberg showing that that correlation has strengthened in the past couple of months. What is this telling us about where the bond sell-off that we've seen here in the U.S. and actually globally is headed?
Sherry, good morning. So I think certainly for regards to the yuan movement and just really expanding this to some of the risk assets as well. I think there is quite a bit of this movements back towards many of the risk assets, and certainly that's likewise into the yuan, which really is very much, I think, definitely led as well, seeing that kind of changes. But I think the market itself really, if we look at, for example, the 10-year yields itself, trading at a 180 level around thereabouts, compared to what you've seen perhaps in July before we certainly seen that tree cut coming through from the Federal Reserve. As a fact, we still have a bit of a distance to go towards the 2%. So I would say that in terms of the movement itself, I wouldn't be surprised that we continue to find a little bit of this, the yields rising through with this optimism in the market over the yields trying to trade deal aspects. If we do really get that rollback in terms of the tariffs, but how much further we could go thereafter, I think really is the question. With regards to the yuan, I think it's a good sign that we're certainly seeing dollar yuan itself briefly past the 7 level, showing the market enthusiasm for the matter, but there lies the risk if we do see that not being reflecting the true outcome eventually.
Yeah, because especially after the PBOC reduced the midterm funding cost for the first time since 2016, is it sending a message that perhaps they don't want to see such a stronger Chinese yuan?
Well, so Sherry, with regards to what the PBOC themselves have done, I think to some extent the fact that they have actually brought about this kind of support may have propelled a little bit of that kind of movements, but at the same time, in terms of the spread, in terms of how this insight is likely to trickle down the MLF cut there, in terms of easing spreading that to the rest of the economy, I think there's a bit of limitation that's still there, given how the MLF itself outreach is a little bit limited, I think, to this extent, really to some of the bigger players. But it still does show a little bit of this targeted movement, which is in line with the policy. But that being said as well, in terms of the reach to the market, I think we're going to see the impact perhaps a little bit later in the time, Sherry.
Jing Pan, thank you so much, as always, IG Asia market strategist. Because now I'm going to check yourself the stock movers in Asia trading. So,
Sherry, NTT falling as much as 5.8% in Tokyo, the biggest drop in a year. This on its miss in second quarter operating income, and after announcing a 2-for-1 stock split. That's the second time since 2015. Now, NTT also raised dividend payouts to lure in investors as it grapples with a profit slump in its wireless service. Now, flipping out the board, the chicken on the stock, falling the most since July, as much as 5.7% after a disappointing set of results and a surprise cut to its dividend. Now, Mitsubishi UFJ noting results showing although the management is unable to halt the decline in earnings of domestic alcohol and soft drinks, and with the overseas business likely to be the near-term driver, that means a vulnerability to Forex headwinds heighten.
Alright, so for Cameron there in Hong Kong, still ahead, Australian Trade Minister Simon Birmingham discusses how Canberra is balancing its relationship with Beijing. Our interview then is next. This is Bloomberg.
Hold on. Tem que dar uma varada muito forte aí pra cima, pessoal. Igual aconteceu ontem. Aí eles dão uma subida boa, descida boa. E aí fica acomodado. Ainda não aconteceu isso não, vai acontecer já já.
Here we are in New York. And I'm Paddy Stroud-Watts in Sydney. Earlier today I spoke with the Australian Trade, Tourism and Investment Minister Simon Birmingham, who's on his second visit to China in 3 months. We discussed what lies ahead for the RCEP agreement and Australia after India's decision to back out.
Well, it is disappointing that India are choosing this time not to proceed with RCEP. The door remains firmly open to India, and I hope and trust that dialogue and negotiation will continue over the months or indeed years to come, depending upon their circumstances. RCEP itself still remains very commercially viable and beneficial to the parties that are there.
Does the absence of India, though, create an awkward, I guess, political disconnect for Canberra, because the strategic goal was to bring India and, of course, the US as allies within the orbit to act as counterweights to the influence of China in the region? Does that make that task more difficult now?
It's not just the economic level. The Prime Minister's visit in January will be focusing as well on a range of strategic issues and keynote speech that he'll be giving there at the invitation of the Indian government. But more generally, in terms of RCEP, the strategic benefit there is that the ASEAN nations sit at the heart of RCEP. Those 10 sovereign ASEAN nations, many of them very rapidly growing economies, and they are the ones who have driven RCEP from concept stage to execution. They are the leaders within RCEP in terms of chairing the negotiations, and so strategically it really does, in our region, cement the centrality of ASEAN, and that's very important.
I'm wondering what kind of, I guess, delicate balance Canberra has to strike between obviously having China as its main trading partner, and that is highlighted by its role in RCEP, but how do you, I guess, maintain that relationship on a trade and economic basis when there are other concerns about its actions in the South China Sea, about Chinese treatment, the government treatment of Uyghurs in the Xinjiang region? Is that a difficult balance for Canberra to be able to create?
No, it's a balance that we are well accustomed to. Australia's human rights dialogue with China stretches back decades. Having those discussions on sometimes difficult issues are not new things for Australia, and they're things that we have dealt with China in partnership for a long period of time, and yet throughout all of that we've managed to deepen other aspects of the partnership in which we are in firm agreement, and we are confident that the partnership is strong enough to be able to continue to grow into the future.
Simon Birmingham, Australian Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment. Let's now get a quick check of the latest business flash headlines. The world's biggest gold miner fell the most since January as it lowered its full-year production forecast. Newmont Gold Corp 2019 output is now seen at 6.3 million ounces against last month's projection of 6.5 million. Newmont is also tackling issues at assets acquired in the Gold Corp merger, with gold adding to the pressure as prices head for the biggest loss in a month.
Tesla has completed construction of its new factory in Shanghai and now aims to win a manufacturing license before the end of the year. Model 3 cars are already being put together at the plant as part of a trial phase. Tesla is nearing the launch of China-made models 10 months after breaking ground at the facility. It's the first time that a wholly foreign-controlled automaker has made a car.
Huawei says it expects smartphone shipments to grow 20% next year, even if it's blocked from the latest Google software. Corporate strategy head Mo Zhang says the company can rely on demand from its enormous domestic market and its improving in-house software. Huawei is 6 months into a U.S. ban on buying key components from American companies such as Google, Synopsys, and Skyworks. And later Wednesday, we'll hear live from Huawei founder and CEO Ren Zhengfei. He'll be joining special guests on a Coffee with Ren, a panel discussion on the topic of digital sovereignty, moderated by Bloomberg's chief North Asia correspondent Steve Engel. Check that out in full online and at live go on the Bloomberg terminal. Plenty more ahead. This is Bloomberg. And I'm Sherrian in New York. China slashed pricing on its first Eurobond offering since 2004 after pulling in enthusiastic bids. Bloomberg Asia credit reporter Andy Lee joins us now from Hong Kong. Andy, so how was the investor demand for China's €4 billion Eurobond offering?
So China has priced a multi-tranche jumbo offering of 4 billion bond last night, and the deal has attracted more than 20 billion euro from investors. So this is like a chunk of this, and that has also lifted issuers to slash pricing for the deal across all chargers. And the demand has from not only emerging market investors, but also Europe pension funds and insurance companies.
So why did China choose to borrow in euros?
So it is actually a perfect timing for China to choose to borrow in euro. It is actually a very rare time for China to come. It was the first time since 2004. But it is now a very good time because the borrowing cost for Europe, the investment grade issuer, the spreads and the yields have reached a very low. And given the funding cost has been lower, it will also lead way for more Chinese companies or issuers to come going forward after China set the euro benchmark.
When then are we expecting China to market this?
So after this euro jumbo bond sale, China is also expecting to price a dollar bond later this month. So we are expecting that given the market mood is more upbeat now and brighter, and the demand for the euro bond has been stronger and stronger. So the USD bond, we are expecting there will be strong demand given the trade tension has been easing now as well.
All right, Ali, thank you so much. Ali Liao, Asian credit reporter there in Hong Kong. Well, coming up next, let's take a quick look at how markets are faring in terms of the trading that we're seeing so far. Overnight, we had a pretty robust handover from a session that saw US stocks pretty maintaining pretty close to those record highs. Of course, real action was in the bond market with that global rally in yields. Indicator 25 at the moment trading by just about 0.2%, possibly also seeing moderate gains there, 0.3% higher. Here in Australia, pretty flat session after the RBA stayed on hold as expected this week, and New Zealand 0.7%, with a great deal of technical difficulties at the moment affecting trading in New Zealand this morning. Take a look at currency right now. The Japanese yen slightly stronger, but this, of course, after 3 sessions of weakness against the US dollar, so you are seeing it now past that 109 level. When it comes to the offshore yuan, unchanged at the moment, but this, of course, after earlier a strengthening against the US dollar, the most since early August as these China-US trade negotiations continue. The Aussie at the moment holding steady as well, this after rising when the RBA left the rates unchanged. Coming up next, we'll have plenty more with China needing more pork and lots of it due to African swine fever. This is we're just getting some lines dropping on the Jimbo in Japan PMI readings. The composite number for October staying in contraction territory, 59.1 in fact. That picture worsening from 49.8 in September. That was the first time that both manufacturing and services slipped into contraction since September 2016. We're also looking at the services number for the month of October, coming in at 49.7, also falling into contraction territory. It's just holding above that 50 level, demarcating contraction from expansion at 50.3 the previous month. But now the composite number as well as the services PMI from Jimbo Bank falling into contraction territory, really just showing the cracks that are starting to form from the extended trade war and the diminishing business confidence. Let's get a market check for Sophie now in Hong Kong. So
we're seeing little reaction in the yen to the Jimbo Bank reading, and the Nikkei 225 adding about 0.1%. So broadly, Asian shares are mixed, while bonds mostly lower, while 10-year Treasury yields are stalling around 1.84% after the curve bear steepened overnight, and Aussie yields are climbing ahead of a 2030 sale. And GGBs are falling as bond bulls are nervous ahead of a 10-year auction. Demand for the tenor has been falling since April.
Gente, só opera o ouro, Mingau. Ouro e o Dow Jones.
On the back foot once again after the bigger than expected pickup in the unemployment rate during the third quarter. Plus, wage inflation may have peaked. More signs then of a sluggish economy in New Zealand, which could prompt the RBA to cut the interest rates again next week. Now, the majority of economists polled by Bloomberg expect a cut to a fresh record low of 75 basis points, but Sherry, traders are less certain. Sherry.
Thank you so much for that. Goldman Sachs says the chances of a recession before the U.S. election are small. Speaking exclusively with Bloomberg, CEO David Solomon also talked about the prospects of a so-called Phase 1 trade deal.
If you're watching what's coming out of the administration in Washington, if you're listening to what's coming out of China, I think it feels like both are incentivized to have some sort of a Phase 1 deal. So it looks like there's some progress and some moving forward. I think the issues are complicated. There'll be a lot more to talk about, but I'm really optimistic based on the data points. I'm watching just as you are.
Ouro, só o ouro. O ouro só tá ouro. Tá quase chegando no nosso gain aqui em cima, ó. Olha.
Facing investors. Well, in the U.S., I think it's more and more the political situation has been uncertain. The Democrats are moving towards an impeachment. You've got some very progressive candidates on the Democrat side for 2020. How much of a concern is, first of all, impeachment for you? Well, more businesses in the U.S.
Look, I think that process, the process of impeachment and how it plays out to the degree that there was an impeachment hearing and the President of the United States was removed from office, that would obviously be a very, very significant event. I don't see that as something that's likely. So at the moment, I think we're in a political process where there's a lot of discussion about this. I think the bigger thing the markets are focused on is not the impeachment process in the U.S., but more what's happening in the election. And I think it's very early to really predict and call, but we're watching the election like everybody else, and it's going to be an interesting process in the next 6 to 9 months as the candidates take shape. But we see what I think will be a pretty interesting election in the United States.
Still a lot of uncertainty, and I think I recall when you came into the job, you were looking at maybe a 15% chance of recession. Recently, you said it's getting closer to 25. What do you think about the possibility of U.S. recession?
You're making a science out of something that I'm trying to give a sense of. So you're quoting me correctly. When asked recently, I've said that I still think the chance of a U.S. recession between now and the election is small. And the distribution of outcomes, it's a smaller outcome. I said roughly 25%. If we had talked about it 9 months ago, I probably would have told you it was very small, kind of 15%. So I do think the uncertainty has increased a little bit some of the risk, but I still think when you look at the economic data, when you look at the earnings momentum, we've seen 4 to 5% earnings growth in the U.S. as we're watching the earnings reports. Consumer is still very healthy. I don't see anything that indicates the consumer is weakening. There's no question the industrial and manufacturing part of the economy is slower, but when you look at the whole package, I think the chance of a recession in the near term is not significant.
Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon speaking exclusively there with Bloomberg's Matt Miller. Let's get to Rekha Gupta now with the first word headlines. Thanks, Heidi. Dallas Fed boss Robert Kaplan has told Bloomberg he's comfortable with the recent steepening of the yield curve, saying it's a sign that overall Fed policy is in the right place. He's voiced concern in the past that having the Fed's benchmark policy rate above the entire Treasury yield curve was a warning that it had set rates too high. However, he now says rates appear to be, quote, appropriate. A veteran of the shale oil industry says the relentless boom in the U.S. production is coming to an end. Pioneer Natural Resources CEO Scott Sheffield says calls for producers to shutter rigs and stop burning cash are being heeded with output growth across the U.S. slowing next year. His comments come as OPEC says the outlook for oil in 2020 is brightening as the global economy holds up. Police used water cannon Tuesday night to break up crowds of masked anti-government protesters in Hong Kong who had gathered in the busy shopping district of TST. Some had set barricades blocking traffic and vandalized shops they considered to be... Protesters wore masks of the anarchist comic book character V for Vendetta to mark 1 month since the government's ban on face coverings. The South African rugby team has received a
Derretimento aí total glacial.
Johannesburg after returning home from winning the World Cup in Japan. Thousands of fans cheered as team captain Sia Khaleesi walked through the airport brandishing the Webb Ellis Trophy. The team will now take the cup on a 5-day nationwide tour starting on Thursday. Global news 24 hours a day on air and at TikTok on Twitter, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Rekha Gupta. This is Bloomberg. Sherry?
Rekha, thank you so much for that. The worsening epidemic of African swine fever in China means the world's most populous country needs more meat, a lot more, and it's boosting imports of pork and beef from Canada and offal from Brazil, and could even list a ban on U.S. poultry. This costs to Bloomberg agriculture editor Anna Hitanaka. Anna, so this GTV chart on the Bloomberg showing how pork prices have risen 23 times as fast as CPI. So you can see this huge rise in prices of pork. How bad is the situation in China now because of this African swine fever?
Well, we're hearing that pork herds are down about 50%, and to put that in context, China is the biggest producer of pork. On a typical year, they have about 400 million hogs. So you're talking about a 200 million hog either being culled or killed because of the disease. And anecdotally, we're hearing people are queuing up in supermarkets whenever there's a pork sale. Restaurants are cutting back on using pork. Pork is a staple protein in China. The majority of meat consumed in China is pork as well. And there's a lot of fear about how high prices are rising. People aren't able to afford it anymore.
What other strategies that they can use to try and combat this? Because it is a very politically sensitive issue.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned politically, about a month ago we had the 70th anniversary for the founding of Communist China. And at that time, the government Beijing was being very vocal about the need to keep prices down. They're trying to recover production domestically as much as possible. China has a long-term strategy to become more self-sufficient with its food. But they are having to import. So most recently we're seeing that they're increasing imports from, well, I mean, every country that they can, but they've lifted a ban on Canadian meat that they've had in place. They're including more Brazilian offal meat as well. And we're probably going to see more US pork sales to China in the coming months.
All right, Anna, thank you so much for that. Anna Hitanaka on the pork price crisis in China. We're coming up next, an exclusive with AstraZeneca CEO Pascal Soriot on how the drug maker aims to discover the medicines of tomorrow in China. This is Bloomberg.
Fala, galera!
Today at the Council on Foreign Relations, a timely conversation with Charles Evans, former Reserve Bank of Chicago president, will discuss the United States economy will benefit good. Jobs report this morning on Bloomberg Radio and television.
This is the Brigade here we are in New York.
And I'm Patty Stradwatts in Sydney. AstraZeneca says it's committed to growing its business in China. In an exclusive Bloomberg interview from Shanghai, CEO Pascal Soriot said the UK drug maker is poised to discover, quote, the medicines of tomorrow in the People's Republic.
We can invest in a variety of ventures. Some would be what you might call traditional biopharmaceutical companies, so new medicines. Some of them would be in artificial intelligence, digital, some of them will be diagnostics, a whole range of investments in companies that actually are all aligned to life sciences and how you deliver care to patients and how you improve the care of patients.
And how does this
Vai abrir já já aí, pessoal, o mercado asiático. Vamos aguardar aí.
potentially divert resources away from other regions?
Well, you know, it doesn't divert resources too massively, but certainly we have to invest more in China. If you look at the momentum we've experienced in the last few quarters, we have to continue fueling our growth in China. The needs are enormous. 1.4 billion people who until recently didn't have access to care, or at least not to modern care, modern medicine.
They've also announced partnerships with local biotech startups in China. So what are those companies doing, and how do you hope this will contribute to AstraZeneca?
Well, actually, what we have done is we have identified a number of products in our pipeline that we felt would be better developed with a local partners, biotech companies, who are engaged in this. As I said, we're also investing in this innovation fund that we invest in startup in biotech companies that are coming up with new medicine.
Não, vai tomar lanche.
So we're doing all sorts of things. We're focused on improving the number
Não,
of
esse não.
products we bring to
Samuel.
patients. We've also looked at
Não.
importing products from other countries, other companies.
Não, vai
There's such
comer
a
não.
large base in China. We import new products to continue
Ah,
improving
fala pra ela comer comida ali que tem janta ali.
A sort of import platform to bring drugs from AstraZeneca
Ei, pode trazer de volta.
into the China market. So
Samuel.
what are those partner companies, and what
Pode
kind of
vir.
products do you want to bring into China?
Yes. So we are really trying to support the policy of the Chinese government. We're really trying to be a company that is in China for China and in China for the world. So what that means is we bring innovation to patients. We export. We're actually exporting to 100 countries today. But it also means that we are supporting the policy of importing. China is opening up. The market is opening to other countries. So we're looking at companies around the world, for instance in India, but there may be others later, that have products that complement our portfolio, and we can help them bring those products to the Chinese market and help patients, but also support this policy of increasing importations.
Will you commercialize products from some of your Western competitors, potentially?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you know, I think we are in a unique position as a company. We have a full coverage of China almost now. We have expanded our presence across the whole of China and continue expanding beyond the so-called tier 1 cities. And so we have now an infrastructure that can support more products. And clearly the Chinese market, as you know, is very competitive. So any company that has good products but doesn't have the infrastructure to market them in China, we can offer them our infrastructure to market those products.
AstraZeneca CEO Pascal Soriot there with our China correspondent Selena Wang. We'll have another big interview from the International Import Expo in Shanghai. Former Italian Undersecretary of State Michele Geraci joins us exclusively in the next hour. Don't miss it. And later today, we'll hear live from Huawei founder and CEO Ren Zhengfei. He'll be joining special guests On a Coffee with Ren, a panel discussion on the topic of digital sovereignty moderated by Bloomberg's chief North Asia correspondent, Stephen Engel. Check that out in full online and at live go on the Bloomberg terminal. This is Bloomberg.
Fala, galera! Pode sim, William. Swap. Aí é cobrado aí um swapzinho aí pra você ser feliz. Tipo esse aqui, ó. Ó. Aqui, ó, o William. Você tá vendo aqui, ó? Eu tô comprado no ouro. Comprei ontem, né? Foi hoje, né? Pra eles lá é ontem. E comprei um hoje, né? Aí aqui, ó, já tá me cobrando um swap. Menos $15 por eu ter ficado posicionado. Aí cobra por dia, tá? Aí como eu comprei e ele fechou abaixo da minha compra, aí eu paguei tipo como se fosse um ajuste. Eu paguei um swap. Aí quando eu compro e aí já no outro dia fica positivo, né? Aí aqui muda o swap. Aí o swap aqui fica positivo. Aí eles pagam pra mim. Entendeu? Por dia, William. Todo dia. Entendeu? Tá aqui, ó, na tela.
Hong Kong's FinTech Week is kicking off today, and our next guest runs one of Korea's biggest P2P lending platforms, whose user base has grown 5 times since it partnered with KakaoPay. Joining us now from Hong Kong is People Fund CEO Joey Kim. Joey, great to have you with us. So tell us what's driving growth in your business.
Thank you for having me, Cheryl. People Fund is a marketplace lending company. We're the largest and the fastest growing in Korea. The market is really interesting.
Já vai abrir o mercado aí, tá?
Coming into the market, we have the first and one and only
18 horas.
law in the world. So we, as an industry, and
William.
also the government,
A maioria fecha às 18 horas.
change, and we're hoping that this will really boost up growth of marketplace lending.
In the meantime, are you planning a new funding round? When are you expecting to become a unicorn?
Sure. So we raised our Series B round last year, led by Kakao. Kakao is the equivalent of WeChat and WhatsApp of Korea. So it's a very powerful partnership that we brought after the Series B round. So right now we're focusing on growth. We are targeting our Series C round next year, early next year, and hoping to get a good valuation on that.
So we, of course, have the P2P lending market as well in China. How's that
size is a lot bigger than consumer finance loan.
Aí você vai comprar no topo, né, Marco? Aí não é hora de comprar, não.
To have full comparison in the two companies competition.
Que hora é que você vai comprar? Aqui no topo, ó. Tá vendo o spread aqui, ó?
Personal unsecured loans and also mortgage loans.
Podia ter comprado.
The actual borrowers and
Agora é difícil comprar isso, pode ser estopado. A gente tá quase saindo já da operação, ó.
have nationwide coverage.
South Korea is famous for having very high levels of household debt. Will P2P lending and the boom of it just exacerbate those risks?
Right, so that's actually a huge issue.
Mas se quiser comprar aí,
The government has been focusing on solving
ó, vai comprar bem aqui, ó. 14,86. A gente já vai sair aqui no 14,86, ó. E 40. Estamos comprando aí desde a abertura. Olha o Dow, derretimento. Derretimento global. Estão fazendo dinheiro aí, pessoal? Ou vocês estão no Bilu Bilu? Ei? Estão no Bilu Bilu? A linha já fica já, William, pela corretora. Ela já vem já. Pessoal, quem ainda não entrou lá no grupo do Forex,
Joey, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with that. People fund CEO Joey Kim joining us. Let's get over to Sophie for a quick check of the market. So,
Well, Heidi, Japanese stocks fluctuating as the yen remains weaker. The top is flirting with that 1700 level, early crossing it briefly for the first time since.
quem ainda não entrou aí no grupo do Forex, pessoal, nós temos um grupo aí no WhatsApp. Tá aí o link aí, ó, do chat aí. É só entrar o link de convite aí, ó. A galera lá, nós temos uma equipe extremamente profissional e eficaz, atentos a 24 horas no ar. Pode mandar mensagem qualquer hora, qualquer horário que os caras respondem lá. Então, lá vocês vão saber como abrir a conta na corretora. Tem um monte de pergunta lá que vocês precisam lá, os caras conversam com vocês no privado e aí vocês ficam lícitos para fazer as operações do além. Olha o ouro, estamos chegando aí no gay. Já vai lá. Ó o papaizinho. 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 Olha lá, chegando lá. Nossa, cara. Só porque eu fui da mãe e falei que ia bater lá, os caras me escutou e venderam. Alô, chegando aí nosso dia. Olha os menininhos de boca aberta aí, galera! Papaizinho! Papaizinho, você apareceu de noite também, papaizinho. Você não esqueceu da gente, papaizinho. Ô, papaizinho, é de manhã, é de tarde, é de noite, é de madrugada. Papaizinho, você é demais, papaizinho. Comidinha special da madruga. É a ceia, é, papaizinho? Ô, papaizinho, você cuida tão bem da gente. É a ceia da noite, é, papai? É, molecada. Não enche o saco, não. Já tem comidinha special. A ceia da noite. Aí, tá chegando. Ô, papaizinho, 330 dólares, papaizinho, no bolso. Ô, papaizinho, vocês não querem dinheiro, não, é? Tá bom, então deixa pra mim. Deixa tudo pra mim. Já que vocês não querem ganhar, deixa tudo pra mim. Olha aí a brincadeira besta aí chegando, ó. Ó besteira, menino. Eita, molecada. Ô, papai, vem logo, papaizinho. Comidinha. Vamos, papai. Abre a boca, menino. Abre a boca que eu vou botar comidinha special. Lá e vai!
is going to last. We've seen 4 sessions when PBOC did do a bigger than expected fixing. But the fourth, let's watch bonds.
Bora, Mundiça! Pega logo isso aí. Canseira danada. Acabar logo isso aí pra fechar logo, passar a régua. Tirar um soninho da noite. Agora vai. Sabe por que a gente não saiu ainda? Porque tem que sair com essa linha amarela aqui, ó. Tem que bater aqui na vermelha, ó, pontilhada. A linha azul é o spread, já passou. E lá vai. Ô, papaizinho! Papaizinho, comidinha special. Special, papai. Eu se amo, papai. Ô, papai. Vai, papaizinho. Dá comidinha. Tô de boquinha aberta, vai, papai. Ó, papai. Dá pra ver a goela aí dentro? Bota comida. Eita, molecada! Parabéns aí quem pegou aí a operação Dourado! Mais uma operação de vitória aí. Compramos aqui embaixo, ó, na abertura. E seguimos aqui o porrete. É o porrete subindo aí, chegou lá no ponto! É do esse negócio aí, galera! É nóis, molecada! Os meninos tudo de barriga espocando aí! É bom demais! E aí, essa aqui continua, essa compra aqui, eu ainda tô comprada aqui. Essa aqui é pra ir lá pra estratosfera. Essa aí eu tô querendo ver se ela volte lá pra cima. Não sei quanto tempo vai demorar não, tá, pessoal? Pode demorar aí uns 2, 3 dias. Vai dar 2.940 dólares essa compra aqui, ó. Então nós compramos aqui, saímos da operação. E aí agora, vambora. Aí eu ganhei esse dinheiro aí, ó. Aí 327 dólares, caso ele venha aqui para baixo, pega o meu stop. Então eu vou ficar 0 a 0. E se esse aqui vier para cima mesmo, vou faturar um bocado aí. É assim que a minha humanidade. Quem quer faz dinheiro, quem não quer fica só no bilu-bilu aí, olhando para cima, de boca aberta, comendo mosca. É isso aí, galera! Pessoal, o Dow vai vir aqui para baixo, tá? Ele tem esse alvo aqui para chegar. Tá meio longe, mas tem grande chance de vir para cá, tá? E pode vir até para 330. Tem um outro alvo aí, ó, seria 330, tá? Mas 330 aqui seria tá para amanhã, tá, pessoal? Depois da abertura da WZ. Amanhã eu tô achando que vai dar uma derretida violenta no índice, tá, pessoal? E o dólar vai espocar. Não sei o porquê, cara, mas eu tô sentindo que o dólar vai espocar, cara. Tem umas informações aí, notícia de mercado, não sei o que, muito auê, não sei o que lá, petróleo, oneroso, sessão onerosa, e vai pra lá, e notícia pra cá, e congresso, cara, eu não sei não, hein. Tá aí, ó, já o Dow Jones aí já tá mostrando, ó. O ouro subindo. Amanhã é outro dia. O próximo ponto de compra no ouro seria aqui, ó, 14,85 e 30. Tá? Aqui, ó. Na verdade seria aqui, né, por conta do spread, 14,85 e 50. 14,85,50. Se ele voltar aqui, pode dar compra, tá bom? Aí tem que stopar aqui embaixo, ó, 14,83. Beleza? Galera, eu vou nessa aí. Estamos encerrando aí o Forex. E amanhã, quem quiser nos acompanhar aí no mini índice, no mini dólar, a gente começa às 10 horas da manhã no canal do YouTube e às 8h40 na sala privada, né? Sala aí que o pessoal investe aí para receber os calls aí no mini índice, no mini dólar. 8h40 a gente se vê amanhã, então, cedinho, e mais tardar no YouTube às 10 horas da manhã. E o Forex voltaremos amanhã às 19h50. É isso aí, pessoal. Um abraço, uma boa noite, tudo de bom para vocês. E o ouro vai subir e o Dow vai cair, tá? Só isso que eu tô sabendo. Amanhã cedo a gente vai ver aí quanto que já tá de gain. Vou tirar um sono e aí eu vou estar ganhando dinheiro dormindo. Quer correr melhor? Valeu, pessoal. Muito obrigado pela atenção de todos. Fiquem com Deus. Deus abençoe cada um de vocês. Um abraço. Valeu. Tchau, tchau.